course, as the head of Charlie Kirk's security detail on the day of the attack, he actually offers a very unfiltered inside account of what actually happened before, during, and even after the tragic event. This is some bombshell information, guys. I know we've all had questions mounting about this Charlie Kirk tragedy. I know some of y'all want to retire it and be done with it, but it still keeps on trucking. And today we have got to talk about a post that the whole internet is side-eyeing Washington like, yo, what the hell is going on over there, man? Now, Sean Ryan, if you don't know who he is, he's a former Navy SEAL. He's got a very big YouTube channel here. He's really like a no-nonsense kind of dude, real talk. But he dropped a line so heavy, it might as well come with its own seismic alert, okay? He said, politicians are literally up for sale. That's it, y'all. One sentence. And somehow, that one sentence says everything. So his post also hints at something much bigger. If politicians are for sale, then what else is being hidden? What files aren't being released? What investigations are being buried? What scandals are magically disappearing because the wrong name is attached to them? Think about that for a second, y'all. That's the part nobody wants to talk about. Because once you admit the system can be actually bought, you also have to admit someone is out there doing the actual buying. So here's the real question, all right? If the people at the top are playing pay to play, what does this mean for the rest of us, though? Who's actually controlling the narrative? Who's rewriting the truth? And how many decisions are affecting millions of Americans right now that were never about policy, but about just making that cashola, baby? Think about that, y'all. So just so you know, in this video we're going to see in just a second, Sean sits down with a highly decorated law enforcement veteran and a private security contractor. His name is Brian Harple. He breaks his silence on the tragedy and everything surrounding the tragedy of Charlie Kirk. And of course, as the head of Charlie Kirk's security detail on the day of the attack, he actually offers a very unfiltered inside account of what actually happened before, during, and even after the tragic event. This is some bombshell information, guys, okay? And it's definitely going to make your head spin. But before we get into that, all right, we have got to take a look at this tweet from Sean Ryan as well. And he's showing that there were actual text messages that they were having with, if I'm correct, the university, which I think is interesting as well. So let's take a look at this here really quick. So one person is saying, hello, Chief Long. We received this message today from the student group FYSA. So there is student roof access pretty close to where Charlie Kirk will be set up at UVU, okay? The Sorensen Student Center has a couple staircases that go up to walkways on the roof. Now, remember where Tyler Robinson was at. He was pulling the trigger from a roof, y'all. And I know a lot of people are wanting to know what actually is going on here. Why and how was he able to get access up on the top of that freaking roof? I'd like to know that too. How did he have access? That should have been shut all the way down, right? So they say, you want access to the roof? I was told students have access above us. If that is true, or if this is true, it would be nice to either have controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there as well if possible. Then it says, I got you covered, and they say, thank you, sir. Now, first off, let me just say this. Now, I know some people have been saying out there, well, they're talking about the roof access above the actual tent where the Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA tent was, where Charlie Kirk was, right? Before he lost his life. Not like right above him, right behind him and above him, not the roofs over there. But see, instantly I think in my mind, doesn't matter. Shouldn't all the roofs be on lockdown? Shouldn't there be limited to zero access to the roofs, period? Whether or not it's the tent behind him or the roof behind the tent or where Tyler Robinson was allegedly at as well. I mean, it's something to think about, right? I do think that is a little bit interesting that they shut off right there. But here's the thing. If you really think about it, he had a backdrop behind him. So if it was a roof, if they were specifically talking about the roof right behind him, would that make any sense? Think about that for a second. Would that actually make any sense? The back. He wouldn't have access. Sure, he could pull the trigger and just aim aimlessly and just hope that he hits his target, but clearly you'd want across the way when you get a clean shot, right? A clean sight of your target, right? For lack of a better term. So again, I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's talking about when they're in this text message, they're talking about the roof behind the tent. But I am kind of curious, what else? Why didn't they just click and drag this whole limited or controlled access to all the areas, right? All the roofs in the area. Just something to think about. But nonetheless, we have got to get into this bad boy. This is absolutely crazy. This is going to be a very interesting video. And this is just the trailer. It's not the full doggone thing. Okay. This is apparently this is all on Patreon right now, but hopefully it'll be out in a couple days. We will most likely watch it because I am very curious about what this this head of security individual, okay, has to say about this whole situation, right? And we're just getting pieces, nuts and bolts here. So let's take a listen to this.
Positioned above the tent, so in the camera, he just moves. What's that?
You are on the stage with Charlie Kirk as the head of his contracted security detail on September 10th when he was assassinated. You know I'm not a combative interviewer. I do have some tough questions. It's been 2 months since this tragedy, and there are a lot of unanswered questions. People are starving for some answers. I know a lot of people are going to be very interested in what you have to say.
There's so much out there, and there's so much out there that's not true.
You cannot say every one of the pros, and I don't say acts that way. But I got texts about you, Megan.
You can see there's already questions about possible other entities, like right off the bat. You already know where this is leaning. That there could be possible other entities involved and all that. And I think that's absolutely crazy. And if they are able to pinpoint certain things and show that Tyler Robinson may have been incentivized by some sort of outside entity, that'll be very interesting. Who could that entity be? I don't know. I'm just going to make that abundantly clear. But I do truly believe that politicians can be bought, right? And can be, sold on certain things depending on how much is getting lined in their pockets. I do believe that. But taking out Charlie Kirk, that is something that is very interesting. I'm quite curious about that. And again, my question is why? Why would they take him out of all people? There's so many other people that they could, you know what I mean? I just don't get it. But again, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Let's continue.
I've been really quiet about this. It's a real shame, but it just got to be so much that I just did not trust my own eyes, ears, what I was reading, what I was watching. I think
in less than 36.
I mean, if you really think about it, and what we're about to hear from Kash Patel, let's keep it a bean. This is some wild stuff, okay? Like the transgender furry thing, and then on top of that, it's the Kash Patel trying to scoop up this ground ball that he never even caught, okay? This guy allegedly, if what they say is true, he turned himself in. Law enforcement and they were doing what they needed to do. They were doing their due diligence, but real talk, this guy walked into their hands, not the other way around. It's not like they went on some manhunt and found this dude, okay? This guy walked into custody, okay? So, you're going to hear that too, but it's insane, the narrative. The text messages right there, okay? I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer. It's just very strange, the text messages, okay? Very strange, but let's continue.
6 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox.
The suspect was apprehended in a historic time period.
The only thing we deal with at the FBI and the Department of Justice is facts. We delivered at record speed a manhunt to capture Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin in 33 hours.
Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday.
Guys will come up to me and say, where did you get your guys? Where did you get these people? And the only response I've ever been able to make sense is I just tell them, man, I prayed them in.
What does it take to become a security contractor for integrity?
Once you've made it through those steps and you're on the team, and then you still have to put that kind of effort out, the team gets together and then they authorize them to get the tattoo. And then they get to get a tattoo and that, brothers in Christ for eternity.
I mean, this is crazy. It's like, some places, some fraternities do that kind of stuff where they do the branding thing. I don't know if they do that stuff anymore, but they'll do like something crazy like that, or do a tattoo, just basically saying you're one of us now, brother. But this is just so strange, and that's strange. And then yes, what is the vetting process, right? What is the process to make sure that the people that are working for you, that are there to protect the likes of someone like Charlie Kirk or any other high profile individual, what is the process to make sure that you have somebody legit and not somebody working for the evildoers or something like that, or they have something sinister that they want to do and that's why they're there. You know what I'm saying? These are questions I think we all want to know, right? But let's continue.
People need to understand that they do not have jurisdiction on the rooftops or the surrounding area. Their only jurisdiction on a campus is Charlie's physical proximity. And they were coordinating with local PD and campus PD to make sure all of those venues. But
also
ultimately,
we don't have counter snipers. We don't have the Secret Service.
Right.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, I feel like, okay, they're there to protect Charlie Kirk. Fine, sure. His body, but at the same time, having somebody out there like blocking access to a rooftop, having somebody standing right there, I feel like that's, or just having somebody up there on the roof, have a couple people on the roof. I mean, yes, you may not have a whole lot of manpower, but maybe just utilizing some of the security that the university, gives to you or something of that sort, that might be helpful. I don't know. This just seems so strange to me that they would not have anybody up on roofs at all. And then did they do a security sweep right before the event? Just one last sweep. Did they do that top to bottom throughout, right? Were people getting patted down? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's some safety protocols that could have been done that it sounds like it did not happen, right?
I ask our guys.
In charge of his security detail, and you are the head guy on his security detail. Did he express any of those concerns to you?
Dan works for Turning Point as their security guy, and so Dan feeds down that to us, to our contracted security, which is us for integrity. And so nothing had ever come from Dan, from Charlie, down to us about that. You got to look at the world we live in, and that's a reality. An organization, whether it be a hate group of any type, could want to hurt anybody.
He's no longer with us and all that. So wait a second, what do you mean? What does with us mean exactly, right? I'm an American.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't look at things, by all means.
Yeah.
We should. I mean, we look at people and press and in history of the United States, how valuable they've been. Don't say you're searching for the truth when you're lying to get it.
They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. He's dead.
You know what I want to know? I want to know when he got on the roof. We're shooters. In that shooting position, 3 meters to the right and 10 meters to the left, there was no shot. And so I want to know when that guy got on the roof. We took that shot.
Hold on. I'd like to know that too. Okay? Hold on. I'm going to roll that back a tiny bit. But I'd like to know that too, right? How did he get up there? How long was he up there for? When was he up there? that's information that they really haven't given to the general public at all. Actually, they haven't given it to anyone at all. So where's that proof? Where's that information? I just want to know it too, you know? Even the head of security wants to know that information as well. That says a lot, y'all. That's how distant, okay, the general public is from what the FBI and what the government has given, that it has, you know, like that information. It's pretty interesting that they have held that information back and we still don't know a damn thing.
And so I want to know when that guy got on the roof. We took that shot before.
Really?
We always do. We sit down in the space.
Wow.
And we take the shot and send it back to Charlie so that he can see what he's going to see.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's a routine thing.
That is insane. So they were there. They went up there and they're like, yeah, there's a clean shot right here. There's a clean shot, Charlie, right here. They knew about this beforehand. And yet that guy still was up there. See, what I'm saying is like, where's the security? Why didn't it happen? And again, like I said, it's wild to me that the feds, the government, would not release any of this information, even to the likes of this guy, Brian, the head of security for Charlie Kirk, just to even set his mind at ease so he understands what he did wrong or what went wrong so that he can prevent this from happening to his other VIPs, right? To his other very important personnel or clients that he has in the future. You see what I'm saying? I don't know why this makes me think of like, and no comedy at all, but I mean, it just makes me think of like the movie, the Hitman's Bodyguard. Ryan Reynolds, you know, he's the hitman. He loses a client only to find out it's, you know what I mean? You know, he's like, oh, it's Samuel Jackson's fault and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I just think it's interesting, you know, that he lost his client and this is a tarnish on his record as well. This is a bad look for him and his whole company that he runs. So again, you know, this is insane. And the fact that they haven't even given him the decency of getting some information about what actually went down is insane to me.
We do. We've all seen the pictures of the guy when he came on through the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
From where we're sitting, where we're standing, we can't see it.
It's a very specific point.
Spot, boom, run to, boom, take the shot. Did you get all that off Google?
I mean, it had to have been rehearsed. To find, I don't know, at least the Epstein files, maybe there would be a little bit of trust in the institution.
Brother,
unfortunately,
I could go on for
a
long time about that. It needs to be released. Charlie wanted it released.